One of my friends, I'm not going to say where he is from, but he was an immigrant. And I'm going to call out immigrants today for the kind of stupid things we do and the stupid things we say and the stupid things we believe. This guy, who was a friend of mine, said a very stupid thing 10 years ago. Okay. He said, I'm not going to change for Canada. He just arrived here. Okay. So he said, I don't care about Canada, about Canadians. I'm not going to change for any of these people. They can all change for me, but I'm not going to change a single thing. And while a lot of people might think this is a great attitude, it's a great cultural pride, it gets you into trouble. It gets people into a lot of trouble. It brings a lot of toxicity, and it's very negative overall. Let me tell you why. First of all, this friend, after 10 years of saying this, he said this 10 years ago, he is nowhere in life, relationship wise, job wise, career wise, and just overall, he is a very negative and toxic person. And with these things that we believe about ourselves, about our culture, about our superiority, they're really mistaken. Especially if you think of the overall picture. You come to Canada, a country that gives you freedom, peace, and advancement compared to maybe from where you're from. And we say crap about Canada and Canadians. Yes, of course, there are a few things you want to criticize. You want to give constructive criticism, but you should not be negative about it. And you should not criticize Canada to the point where you absolutely show disgust and at the same point show that you are better. So let's talk about the one thing, the first thing among the 5 things I'm going to point out that can really get you into trouble and will halt your success if you have this attitude. So that's number 1, negative attitude. Having that attitude where I've heard a lot of people say different things. My immigrant friends, my immigrant customers saying things like, I'm not gonna be buried in a cemetery next to the Canadian people. I want to be with my people because my people are so pure and they're saints. I've heard things like, and again, we want to call these things out because if anyone else does it, if a Canadian calls out immigrants, they're going to be called racist. But if I'm calling out immigrants, I think it's fair, right? I'm from an immigrant family. So that's one thing, a negative attitude. Things like where we say, my culture is so much better. These people are dumb. These people are stupid. They don't know anything. My people are intelligent. Where I come from, we have this better. We have these things better. Look at the same thing here. It sucks. You can, of course, compare Canada with other countries and suggest improvements. Be more polite, be more gentle in your criticism because Canada has a lot of faults, yes, but it also has a lot of things that make people come here, that make people leave their homeland. So you got to keep that into consideration, especially if you booked a flight ticket here. You left everything. Imagine your friends, family, your job, your culture, your religion. Well, you can do religion and culture here too, but you left the essence of it, where it was born, where you grew up. You sacrificed everything. And for you to come to a place like Canada or the US or any country where you immigrate to and say that my thing was better, you're just being delusional. Let's accept the fact that your place was not better and you might be proud of it, you might be proud of your country, but the fact is there were a lot of opportunities, a lot of things in Canada that were better. And that is why having a positive attitude and a grateful attitude while coming in Canada as an immigrant is very important. It helps you, it keeps you positive, it gives you a healthy mindset, and it helps people around you because you might say or do things which will show how much you hate this country. People do that, immigrants, a lot of us. When we meet people who are Canadians, we kind of show them a cold shoulder. We kind of show them attitude because, again, it's that we're better, you're not. And first thing is, that should never happen. You should never be rude to people. But secondly, even if you don't do that, even if you just have that belief, that negative attitude towards Canada, it's called vibes, right? The vibes people have from you. They can sense if you are being what your mindset is. People can sense your mindset if you're going to be nice to them, if you're going to be kind to them, if you're going to approach them with a humble attitude, or if you have a lot of attitude and arrogance and negativity, which is completely something you don't want, especially if you're starting in Canada as an immigrant and you're applying for jobs, you're trying to meet people. Don't have that negative attitude. Have an open-minded attitude and approach people with sincerity, honesty, thinking that everybody is a good person. Give them the benefit of the doubt, and you will realize if you think that they are good people, they'll turn out to be amazing people. It really depends on your attitude. Number 2 thing that I want to point out is the superiority. Okay, this is closely related to what I was mentioning earlier. Always thinking that we're better. Okay, we have better customs, we have better religion. Look at us, we are dressed this way. Look at us, we look better. Look at us, we eat better food. Of course, we criticize a lot of things about Canada for fun, right? What do we talk about Canadian food? We say it has no flavor, it is bland, and we say that in jest, in fun. But if you say it in a way where you are sarcastically mocking Canada and you are really feeling you are better in this aspect where Canada sucks, you're saying really hurtful words about the Canadian culture, either in your head or outside, which is terrible. But if you're doing that, once again, it shows that you're not being humble. You don't have a grateful attitude. You don't have an attitude which is of a pleasing personality. At the same time, you're once again being delusional. Remember, as I say this again and again, whenever people say this, and again, you might think it's controversial or not, I'm just going to say my opinion because this is exactly how I feel. When people say that we have this thing better in our culture, we are proud of this point of our culture, but they're here. They left everything. You know, they spent thousands of dollars to come here and they left everything. Their great lives, they left everything to come here. So if you make such a big sacrifice and you come here, there's clearly something you are not proud of in your country. Or maybe the majority of the things there in your country are things that you are not proud of. Obviously, that's why you left it. If you were truly proud of it, why would you leave that country, right? If you have a child, or you have a parent, or you have a friend, or someone, your wife maybe, someone who you're really proud of, would you divorce your wife? Would you leave your child? Would you abandon your child or your friends? No, absolutely not. If you're really proud of something, you show that off. You take it with you. You stay with that thing or that person. If you left your country, think again before you say you are truly proud of your country. It's okay to be proud, but don't say that it is better if you clearly left it and sacrificed all of it happily while coming here starting from zero. Once again, being grateful and being thankful to this country and the opportunities it provides is going to make for a good attitude, not superiority and not being humble. That doesn't help. All right, number 3 is communication. So communication, one thing I want to tell everybody is it is very offensive when you're working with Canadians and you're speaking in your own language. For example, if I have someone from my country and we have a team of 10 people, but 2 of us are from my country, 8 of them speak English, but 2 of us speak in our language, that is considered offensive. I have done that before, and I've been taught, some people have come and told me that is rude. I've heard from a friend of mine the same thing. When they're talking in their language, someone will come and tell them, hey, this is rude. So this is important to realize. It is rude if you're surrounded by people who speak English and you speak in your language, okay? When you're outside, when you're in public, when you're in gatherings, especially where people are speaking English, they're not all from your community, you speak in English as well. And it doesn't matter if it's the other way around. If it's 9 people from your community, but there's 1 person on the table who is speaking English only, the 9 of you should speak English for that 1 person. It's called respect, which is common sense as well. But again, something that immigrants don't understand, mostly, not always. And they're pointed out time and time again. We've seen this on videos as well, where customers would tell maybe cashiers of a certain country who are speaking in their language that, hey, you're in a restaurant. Are you talking about me? Why don't you just speak in English? When you're on phone in a lineup and you're talking in your language, people around you might think you're talking about them. It is insecurity, whatever you call it. But the point is, you have to speak in English all the time when you're in Canada, or in French when you're in a French province. But it is the way you adapt, and you don't want to stand out. It's not something unique or something to be proud about if you speak in your own language in a public place. You want to blend in and not be rude or offensive. The 4th point I'm going to make is about the communication in general. So I talked about this communication point, but in general, we see so many immigrants just hang out with, guess what? Immigrants. So people just hang out with their own cultures. That's why when you have your aunties and uncles visiting you after 20 years living in Canada, they speak in English and you're like, my English is better. I didn't even go to Canada, but how come these guys don't speak with a good accent? Reason is they never went out of their culture, they never went out of their circle, they never talked to other people. And this limits everything. This limits relationships, this limits your context, limits your experiences and exposure, and also career opportunities. Once you have less context, less references, you don't get career opportunities or business opportunities or ideas from people who would be outside your culture, giving you a different perspective. And you don't grow as a person because you are so focused in among your own group. Like it's like you left your country, but you actually haven't left your country. Your mindset, your thinking, your gathering, every belief system is still ingrained highly depending on who you are with, which is mostly your own people. So immigrants, it's important for you to reach out, hang out with more people. If there's an opportunity in your company or at your school or university where you are given a chance to hang out with one person, two people, or a group of foreigners, basically people who are not from your country, hang out with them. Hang out with international people. Get more exposure, get more opportunities, and be more open-minded that way. You came to Canada for a reason, not to just be the same person, to develop as a person instead. All right, the last thing I'm going to say is learn the culture, okay? There are lots of things that could be learned from the Canadian culture. And I believe at the end, the conclusion I want to make is it should be the best of both cultures, all right? There's no culture that is 100% perfect, okay? There are combinations of cultures that could be perfect. For example, if I'm from Brazil, what I'm gonna keep that is not in the Canadian culture is the happiness, the loud and exciting sounds when you see Brazilian people talk, the hospitality, how hospitable they are when you meet them, when you greet them, the wide smiles, that whole thing. I'm not gonna change that, okay? Considering I'm from Brazil. I probably am not going to change my food. I think Brazilian food is more delicious than Canadian food. But something that I would change, when I see Canadians, what I'm going to change is how they hold doors for people, how polite they are when they say please and thank you, how dedicated and hardworking they are, how they are also involved in sports, and how they also concentrate on their diet. Again, these things are in Brazil too, but I think dialed up a little bit more in Canada. So I can see those things and I can say, these are some good points in the Canadian culture. These are some good points in my culture. Let me combine both of them and be the best human being, be the best version of myself that I can possibly be. Instead of me being myself, not growing and criticizing everything that's around me, even though I know I left my homeland for this, but I'm still going to criticize it. If you do that, it just means, it's kind of a dumb decision because you just left your homeland and now you're criticizing the place where you came after spending thousands of dollars and hours of visa process. So think about it again. Think about your activities, your habits, your approach to Canada. If you're an immigrant and you're negative and you feel you're better than Canada, maybe you shouldn't come to Canada, right? But if you are here, you definitely want to change your perspective, change your thinking, be better, grow, and have an open mind. And that's it, guys, for today. Hope you like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk soon. Take care.